A lot of news coming out today, most of it coming from the Red Bull Toro Rosso side. So we're going to stick to that just for this video. I'm just going to talk about the confirmations that were made just so you're in the loop. I'll link to some of the articles below, but a lot of the stuff we saw coming and we talked about, so this won't be a surprise. So yeah, stick around if you want to catch what happened in the driver's market, the confirmations that were made. And as always, if you are new to this channel, make sure to like and subscribe if you like independent commentary like this. It's really hard to grow without you guys, and without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. So if you like independent news and stuff like this and these quick updates, make sure to like, subscribe, and we can keep doing this. So let's get into it. So we're going to start out with the Toro Rosso news, and then we're going to get to the Albon news. So I'll jump over from article to article of the ones that I already put up. But we have Pierre Gasly and Daniel Kvyat are confirmed to be driving for Toro Rosso next year. Not a massive surprise, especially after the news from Albon came out, and we kind of saw this coming. France had actually come out and said we're going to keep all 4 drivers, and but they've said things like that before, and we saw what happened, especially with Pierre Gasly right around Spa. So we took that with a grain of salt, but this one seemed a little bit more concrete, especially considering their performance as of late, since in the past 7 races or so. So rather than just tell you the news, I kind of wanted to give you a quick analysis of how they perform next to each other, that is Gasly and Kvyat. So Gasly's got 14 points to Kvyat's 7, and then their qualifying is 5-2. And that's actually including the fact that Kvyat he had a no classify in his home race at Russia. So with that said, yeah, so it's a 5-2 qualifying battle with 14-7. So they've actually pulled 21 points in the past 7 races, barring that Germany result. That's really strong. If you look at the 7 races versus any previous string of 7 races with any combination of the 3 drivers between Albon, Kvyat, and Gasly, that 21 is pretty good. And I think that has a lot to do with their internal rivalry, but pushing each other. I think they both have a chip on their shoulder, seeing that they both were demoted down from Red Bull and then seeing Albon confirmed. So I think that's going to be a really good thing for them to drive safe and comfortable ahead of Brazil, and we'll get on to why that's really strong for Albon. But this whole video, I think, really has sparked a lot of conversation. This whole content and idea has sparked a lot of conversation about how Red Bull treats their drivers and how this is a really tough environment. But I'll just quote what the team had to say. So Franz Tost had to say about this: "I'm delighted to retain Pierre and Daniel for next season. Both drivers have shown really good performances this season, and they have proven in their years in F1 to be very competitive, able to exploit the car's potential and give valuable feedback to make improvements. This young but experienced duo combined with hopefully a competitive car will be the best factors to achieve a very successful season in 2020, and I'm looking forward to this extended cooperation." So I really do think I agree with everything he's saying. I think this duo is actually really dangerous. They are underrated in the sense of, just because they were both demoted doesn't mean they're bad drivers. And I think them combined, as we've seen with the 21 points in the past 7 races, I mean, you extrapolate that. I know that's not a perfect calculation, but through 7 races, we got 22 next calendar. So at least 60 points next year. So again, that's not a perfect calculation, but you see my point. And I think they'll only get better and better. As you can see, although I do think that Kvyat's overdriving a bit, I think that he's hungry for points, and Pierre is really comfortable. So I think that's a really good dynamic going on. But this whole this whole environment Red Bull has, which is just, it's so cutthroat, but I think that doesn't, if you only have a certain amount of time to prove yourself, the drivers have to weigh going for it versus getting consistent points. And Albon's really had to battle that. And Gasly had the misfortune of going first, so he wasn't really sure, if that's the prerogative of Red Bull to say we need someone to prove it, and you've got half a season. He may have driven different. I don't know that to be true, but regardless, the fact that the drivers have to even be considering that, and you think about Verstappen's first, 7 or 8 races, whatever his rookie season, however you want to bunch it up, he was given the opportunity and freedom to fail, and I think that's really what helped him develop, especially when you look at his time last season versus Ricciardo, how he was able to just start to mop him up. I think that really had a lot to do with the fact that he was given the space to fail in early 2016. after promotion, and then 17 he had a really tough year and gained that reputation that we all know of Mad Max. So he was really able to battle that and given the freedom to do so, and I don't think these drivers were, unfortunately, but luckily Albon was at least confirmed. So let's get over to his story. So that's the story of Kvyat and Gasly, who were both confirmed. Albon was also simultaneously confirmed in a separate message from Red Bull. I'll go straight to his comments because I really do think this speaks a lot to Albon in general, and why I think a lot of people in the media and people who are journalists talking about him have such a favorable opinion of Albon and how he handles this sort of stuff. So he says, "I am really excited to be partnering Max again for the next year, and I know how fortunate I am to be given this opportunity. I'm hugely thankful to Red Bull to have put their trust in me and believed in my results since I joined the team, and for them to keep me in the car next year is a big deal. This year has been an incredible experience for me, and getting the call up to Red Bull mid-season was already a big step. So now I will use the learnings from this season and use the experience to improve the fight at the front in 2020. So yeah, and I've got a tweet from him talking about this. So Albon, again, yeah, he didn't really have, I felt like he was always looking over his shoulder. So to see him confirmed ahead of Brazil is going to be great. And a lot of people have rightfully called out, is Albon's performance deserving of this seat? And I've made a whole video talking about that. I'll put the link in the below, but I put it out last week, so this was great timing. But I think so. I definitely think so. And when you look at his rookie season compared to Verstappen's, like the first 7 races at Red Bull, when you line them up over Albon's first 7 races, Albon's done better. And even when you say, oh, well, Max had DNFs, take him out, Albon still does 4 points better. So I put that all in that article, but it doesn't really matter how you slice it. Albon's performed better, and where Albon needs to improve is qualifying on Saturday. The Red Bull is not going to compete in straight line speed. It's not going to compete in reliability. It's not going to compete in overall performance. So you have to get as far up that grid as possible to start the grid or to start the race on Sunday. So he really needs to improve his Saturday results. He knows that. This is no shocker, no surprise. But yeah, I just wanted to confirm that with you guys. He is driving for Red Bull. It is confirmed, which is great. That is the only thing my wish for if I had to. Not that I matter or what I say matters, but after seeing Toto Wolff come out and say we treated Valtteri probably not the best, the whole situation, it wasn't the best how we did it. I think hopefully that struck a chord with Helmut Marko and Horner and the whole organization to say, look, these drivers need to drive, under the fact that they have the team supporting them and the confidence of the team. And nothing says that better than confirming them for the next contract, the next season. And yeah, you see that in Albon. He makes mistakes, but he recovers. I'd love to see him drive without having to come back or fight. But at the same time, you have to understand his pain and prerogative. He needs to deliver a result. And before he needed to do it under the guise that, look, I need to protect my seat. Now he can drive freely. Hopefully we'll see that happen. Brazil is a tough track. He's never driven at Interlagos. So we'll see how he does. Hopefully it's, he just continues his run. But yeah, I've got all that written up and typed here if you want to check out the article. But yeah, if you want to, I've linked all the charge videos too. You'll get them in the description. But confirming the Kvyat and Gasly, Toro Rosso will be driving in the driver lineup for 2020, and Albon will be partnering with Verstappen in 2020 at Red Bull. Those are the 2 updates from the driver market. That leaves 1 seat left for Nico Hülkenberg. What is he going to do? We will see. But yeah, it's not looking good, as Latifi's going to drive again in Brazil in FP1, and then he's got to go drive for his F2 Series feature race in Abu Dhabi. But it looks pretty good for Latifi right now. We'll see what happens. But if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. You're really helpful in these and growing in this platform. And if you like these news updates, I'll keep some more coming. I got some more coming in later this afternoon. We'll be talking about tire talk and the circuit challenges of Brazil. So thanks for checking this out, guys. I will talk to you soon. I'll see you in the next video.